Hey, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Dropping the Gloves. Thanks for joining us here. Beautiful. May's almost over, Tim. Can you believe that? May 29th, my kids' school year coming to an end, the hockey season coming to an end, basketball coming to an end. Do you know the Celtics are in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, I do. I don't miss a game. Well, I don't watch them all, but yeah, I've been following pretty closely.
They really haven't played a good team yet. It feels like basketball's not a good year. For whatever reason, it's just off.
I was reading an article about the Pacers series, and even though it was a sweep, they said it was like a very closely matched sweep. Like multiple of the games could have gone either way, and 4-0 doesn't really tell the story of how close those teams were. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
I feel like basketball is losing its status. You know, the old guard is leaving, LeBron, Steph Curry, those types. Who's taking over? Is it Jason Tatum? Guy's got the personality of a potato.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope Kyrie goes to the finals. We want to beat him.
That would be fun.
He's one of the enemies in Boston.
Well, they're up 3-1. That's what I mean. Both conference finals are a dud compared to hockey. Hockey's living it up right now. We have two good series, one out west, one out east, and they're both really entertaining games. Last three games in the East have gone to overtime. The 4 games out west have all been very, very closely contested. It's been fun hockey, Tim. We deserve this. Don't you agree?
We do. Yeah, we do. Especially after the first round.
Yeah, a long time coming. 4 evenly, well, some would say 3 evenly matched teams, and the Rangers are just there and somehow winning thanks to one player between the pipes. But before we get into that, Tim, this episode is brought to you by Bet365. Did you know that?
I do now.
You do now. So does everybody else. Bet365 is a proud partner of Dropping the Gloves. You should open an account today with Bet365 and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, hopefully hockey, whatever the moment, hopefully the playoffs, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code HOCKEYCA to let them know that we sent you. And then we get a little bump. And that's always good. So Bet365, code HOCKEYCA. Speaking of the Western Conference, speaking of it being a barn burner of a series, we had a game in Game 3, Edmonton-Dallas. Series tied 1-1, goes back to Edmonton. Fantastic game. A lot of question marks. I put forth a lot of personal challenges to a few players. Connor McDavid. I said, Connor, we need more. We need more out of you. You listen. Jason Robertson. I said, you're not getting a pass here. You were a 50 goal scorer at one point in your career last year. We need more from you. He stepped up. I said, we need these hurt guys to come back. They listen. Rupe Hintz. And it's Adam Henrique. I always thought it was Henrique, didn't you?
No, it's Henrique.
Doesn't it sound better, Henrique?
No, that's the European first name version, right?
Henrique. I don't know. Adam Henrique. It sounds dumb. But they come back and they make immediate impacts to both of their teams. Some would say, myself included, that Rupe Hintz, his return to the lineup, completely alters Dallas's lineup. Gives Robertson someone to play with, slides down some players. We talk about the depth of the Dallas Stars. He's the reason why you have depth. He's a first-line guy. He comes back. He plays just lights out. So let's get into this game, because this was a fun game. I find this series much more enjoyable than the Rangers and Panthers. Rangers and Panthers is somewhat lopsided affair with one team just holding on for dear life, it seems like, the whole game, managing to send it to overtime and win a couple games. Whereas this game here, you don't know who's going to win. Game 3, same thing. Edmonton comes out just firing. Absolutely playing great. Tell us about the beginning, Tim, because you're a big Edmonton guy. What happened in the first period here?
West Conference games, I'm a first period guy. I mean, McDavid was flying. You could see that, just from his opening shifts, the goal that he scored where he created the space. I thought he was going to score in that first chance.
Yeah.
Hangs in there, collects the pass, just creates a chance out of nothing, throws it on net. And then the other one that came off the Ekholm pass, like he was just flying out there. And you watch the game, you watch that period, you think, okay, this is the 1 or 2 games each series that you get from McDavid where he's going to put up 4 or 5 points and just will them a win, no matter what anyone else on either team does. But didn't quite turn out that way. He ran out of gas. The Stars woke up. You get a little bit of, you mentioned Hintz and Robertson. It was like they got Robertson back too. Like, I know he's been in the lineup, but it was like you get him back after doing nothing. I think he had just a few assists, no goals or whatever, and he was excellent in this game.
Yeah, you could tell he was making a concerted effort to shoot the puck more. I don't know if he hasn't been shooting lately, but he was firing everything on net. And I think that is because of Rupe Hintz. But to go back to the start of the games, Dallas start. How do you start so incredibly slow? Game 3, the Western Conference Finals, it boggles my mind. This seems to happen every game with at least one team, where it's just a lopsided affair. The other team doesn't wake up. Dallas Stars did not get their first shot on goal, Tim, until way past 5, 6, 7, 8 mark of the first period. They finally get a lackluster shot on net. Stuart Skinner easily grabs it. At the end of the first period, they only had 3 shots. Nothing dangerous. Robertson had a dangerous one at the end of the period where he kind of corrals it on the sidewall, brings it and rips a nice shot. But Skinner, it was just playing pitch and catch. It wasn't that dangerous of a shot, but you could tell he was gaining his confidence in a little bit, and it was because of Rupe Hintz. But all in all, I thought this was going to be a blowout for the Edmonton Oilers.
Me too.
Like 2-0, 10 3-inch shots, all the momentum. McDavid's flying up and down the ice. That second goal that McDavid scores, he didn't do anything. The high-low interchange between Ekholm and Hyman was fantastic. Ekholm down the boards, Hyman dragging the forward up with him. Ekholm, beautiful pass to McDavid on the back door, just taps it in. Like really, really smart plays by those guys. And it's amazing to see the progression of the guys McDavid plays with and the confidence that they play with. Like Hyman, when he was with Toronto, he was going to bang it out of the corner, and I'm going straight to the net front. He's not that guy anymore. He still does those things. He's making plays. He's confident. He's coming out of the corner. He's using his feet. He really is just building out a well-rounded game. He's not just a one or two faceted player where he goes in, makes a check, and goes to the front of the net. First guy back on the back end back check. Good player, Tim. Heck of a player.
Even Ekholm too. I mean, how many times you see him making a play like that when he was in Nashville? Like not too many. And obviously he wasn't playing with McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and those guys. But yeah, it's a good point. You see them like taking more risk and kind of getting that contagious energy that playing with a guy that like McDavid has.
Yeah, they talked a lot about Paul Coffey joining the staff, about Evan Bouchard has really taken his game to the new level. You can see the same thing goes for Ekholm. He's playing great, confident with the puck. Well, do you think he makes that play without Paul Coffey behind the bench?
No, I thought we were going to another defenseman next who seems to be skipping those classes from Paul Coffey.
Vinny Desharnais?
Nope.
Darnell Nurse?
Yeah.
Both of them suck. That suck. That's strong. Guy makes $9 million, $9.5 million. But yeah, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other time. There's some defensemen in these Final Four teams that I just shake my head. Florida Panthers, third pairing, Kulikova and Ekman Larson, not good. And for the Rangers, their captain, Jake Trouba, not very good. Keandre Miller cost him PK goals at the end of the last game. So first period, not good for the Edmonton Oilers. We move into the second, completely different team. The roles were just flipped. It's amazing how an intermission, a regrouping, maybe a little chastisement from the coach, maybe a players only meeting. We don't know what happened there with the veteran team. You know you have to play better. And when you have those young guys, they're so easy to motivate. So they came out flying, and the guy who stood out for me is Wyatt Johnson. I know Robertson scored the goals. I know he was playing great. Jamie Benn always playing great. But Wyatt Johnson, his motor, his ability to come out of the corner for his size, just one-on-one battles, beating Connor McDavid a lot of the times, one-on-one battles out of the corner. Very rare for a kid of his age. For a kid of his age and for a man of his size, the guy is really turning heads to. It's unbelievable how good he's playing, and he's very responsible. He's never out of position. He's got an endless motor, and he's got some pretty slick hands on him. He played really, really good coming right out of the gate in the second period.
Would you say he's like a little water bug out there?
No, because that's a stupid term. You would, though.
That's your term. Come on.
I would say that. It's very fun. But yes, let's get back to the Stars right away. Robertson goal generated by Rupe Hintz. Great keep at the blue line. He wins the battle down low. Feeds Robertson for a one-timer. It's 2-1. And by that time, the shots were 10-10. So they came out and ripped 7 shots in a row in the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton had one early chance in the second period, missed a net. Then it was the Dallas Stars from there. And in my eyes, the sign of a really good team is when you can tell the momentum shifting. when you can tell you're starting to get back on your heels and the game's turning, you can stop it. You can go out there, you can have one shift to just say, no, we don't need to score a goal here. We need to have a good offensive zone shift to just get a breather, get our bearings. Edmonton couldn't do that. It was wave after wave after wave of the Dallas Stars just dumping it in, chipping it in, skating it in, getting behind their defense, Desharnais turning it over, Nurse not being able to get it out. It did not stop for the whole second period. Another Robertson goal. He keeps it at the blue line. Sagan and Hintz creating havoc at the net. Robertson gets a rebound. It's 2-2. The shots are now 14-10. 11 straight shots for the Dallas Stars, and we're still only 10 minutes into the second period. Then they go up 3-2 before the 10-minute mark. Terrible turnover. Vinny Desharnais turns it over to Ben Johnson, backdoor tap it. It's 3-2 for the Dallas Stars in less than 10 minutes. And nothing slows them down. Take a timeout if I'm Chris Knobloch there. Give your guys a breather. You're at home. The crowd's on your side, but they're starting to falter a little bit. They're starting to second-guess this team. Take a timeout. That's all you need to do there. Just let the troops get their breath, get a handle on the game. It's 2-2, but no, he keeps throwing them out there. We're okay. Now you're down 3-2. And all the momentum's against you. And the only thing that saves your behind is Ryan Suter throws the puck over the glass. That's it. If he doesn't throw the puck over the glass, this game gets out of hand, in my opinion. He takes a penalty. Edmonton's able to get their bearings a little bit. They score a short while later on a pretty nifty redirection from Adam Henrique. Not bad. But then it's a 3-3 game going to the third period. So am I missing anything here, Tim?
No, I just wanted to comment on Robertson's goal there, because there's an incredible play at the blue line. Like, that's a very risky play. You've got to have a lot of confidence and a lot of skill, obviously, to pull it off, because the poke check was great. Like, It was really well placed and quick. And then is that the one where he shot it on net and you've got the bounces off Skinner's chest and he's trying to tie it up, but he can't, and then they buried the rebound? Is that the goal I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the only one that I'm really, well, actually, maybe two, I'm upset with Skinner about, because I know a lot of people on Twitter and Oilers Nation have sort of turned on him, but that's one where you want to suck in the rebound. You want to be like a vacuum on those pucks, whether it's the first attempt or just pouncing on it in the rebound. I know there was some choppy sticks in it, play in front of them and everything, but yeah, that's one that I want to see him scoop up if I'm Skinner.
Easier said than done when you got Tyler Seguin and Rupe Hintz right on your doorstep, hacking and whacking away, and the puck jumps out a little bit. But yeah, ideally he covers it up. But in that situation at that point in the game, like it's tough. Those pucks are flying pretty fast. So the third period starts. Edmonton took the first period. Dallas took the second period. Who's going to show up? Who's going to take the third period? Tight third period. I don't think any team wanted to make a mistake. Rightfully so. The next goal probably would be the winner, and it was right, because the next goal wins. Jason Robertson. How does he get his hat trick, Tim?
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is the one where, like, oh man, Skinner. So he gets it. It's kept at the point by I want to say Suter, but I don't remember who it was, the defenseman. But he gets in the corner. He's got a little bit of room. He's all alone for just a few seconds. He just goes to the net and he tucks it in off the back of his pad, and it just goes. It tugs in. And if everyone's yelling at Skinner right now, obviously, because you want to hug the post, you can't let that happen. And you're seeing guys try that more and more in the last year or 2, 3 years than I've ever seen it, because it works. Mm-hmm. It's a really difficult stop to make. It's really hard to get your bearings in a quick play like that if you're the goalie. I know it's something they work on, but even Robertson said that the goalie coaches have been working with the forwards on that, because they're teaching them, here's how a goalie thinks, here's what they're doing in the situation, here's how you have a chance of beating them. And Robertson did it. And that's the one where if you're the anti-Stuart Skinner crowd, this is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it happened to Shesterkin as well last game when Sam Bennett bounced it off his skate, because there is room there. If you're behind the net, the goalie's hugging the post. His skate is on the post, which means there's a little gap there. So it's becoming, players are so skilled these days.
Yeah.
And goalies are so good. And the way you can scout and the time, because a coach came up with that move, right? Jason Robertson never just said, I'm going to shoot it from behind the net. There's a coach who comes to him and says, when Stuart Skinner is recovering back to the post, there's a window there. Maybe he drops his blocker too soon, or he doesn't bring it back too soon, or whatever the situation. That's a coach who says, give it a shot if you're in that position. And it worked out for the Dallas Stars. Unfortunately for the Edmonton Oilers, they give up a game-winning goal from behind the goal line. That's a tough way to lose. They were playing okay in the third. Dallas was the better team, and then Miro Heiskanen obviously has to score. He bombs in the 5-3 winner. Dallas gets the win. Great job by Dallas, all in all.
Great job by Dallas, and I was like struck at how quiet the building was when he got that overtime, that empty net goal. It's like, wow, did they mute it? Like you couldn't. It was amazing. Frustrating for them, and big win for Dallas. I still think Edmonton's very much in this series, but right now it's hard not to think that Dallas is getting a leg up here.
Yeah, and just the flow of the game, how everything happened after the first period, it seemed like Edmonton had zero opportunity to score any goals. They could not enter the zone. They could not gain any speed. Dallas did such an incredible job of just slowing everybody up. And you don't have to lay people out. I think this is where the Rangers get into a little bit of problem, specifically Jacob Trouba, where he's trying to kill people all the time. You just step in front of him. You watch, and this is where I really enjoyed Wyatt Johnson. He just steps in front of McDavid. Whenever he's trying to wind it up, as soon as he gets the puck, he just steps in front of him. And then he slows him down. He does it with Draisaitl. He does it with all these guys. And as the game went on, I started to notice a pattern of Edmonton never entered the zone with possession. Ever. A few times McDavid breaks loose and gets in. You know, every couple minutes he'll have a big wind-up and he gets in the zone and he circles around the net and throws one on in front. And it's a ooh-ah. Never really dangerous. Other than him, no other player that I can remember entered the zone at all, let alone consistently. Dallas did such a great job of clogging up the neutral zone. The D-men stood up. They always had a guy back to pick up the dump, and they just made it look routine. They would go in, chip it in, we'll take it, worm it around, we'll go D to D, D to the centerman, D to the winger, and we're out of the zone. You cannot generate offense that way for the Edmonton Oilers. You are a rushing team. That's how you generate a lot of your offense. You got the Nuge, you got Hyman, you got Draisaitl, you got Kane. All of these guys are really good off the rush. And when you're trying to generate offense on the cycle, low to high, stuff that you are okay at, but that's not your bread and butter, not good. Not good. So they need to make some adjustments. I don't know how you can do that, but if you keep trying to do this where you dump it in and go and get it and grind it out, that's feeding right into Dallas's game plan. And they got great D-man who can go and get the puck. Harley's fantastic. Heiskanen's fantastic. These guys, Tanev, they don't turn it over. They're not like a Nurse or a Desharnais who just throw grenades around the boards. Right? They make good, solid plays with it. So something needs to change out for the Edmonton Oilers if they have a chance to get some momentum going. Because right now, the Dallas Stars, and I know it was a 5-3 game with an empty netter. They played great. They played really, really solid hockey. Maybe they changed the goalie, Tim. Is it time?
Yeah, well, a lot of people were clamoring for that. That was one of our predictions for this round too, is that it wasn't Skinner's net quite yet. But we saw that Chris Knobloch said yesterday that Skinner is going to start game 4, which I think is actually the right choice. I don't think that he had a couple of soft goals, but I don't think that he's the reason. And if you take him out now, it'd be really hard to get him back in the net ever. You know what I mean? Like, I think you got to give him a chance to steal one. And he has done that. He has played like a legit ace goalie at times in this postseason. So I feel like you give him enough a chance to do that. But I think the leash is going to be short. And I think that the patience with some of the players and the fans certainly is short with him.
I think now's the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
You take him out this game. And if Pickard comes in and plays well, then you ride it. If Pickard comes in and he plays okay, but you get the win, then you do what you did last series and you put Skinner back in. This is exactly the same situation as last series when they took Skinner out.
Well, Pickard played 2 games. He won the
played
first one,
4 and 5, and Skinner played 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So, like, very similar situation. I don't think Skinner's playing bad. You gave up 4 goals. You're not going to win a game when you give up 4 goals. The last one was strictly on you. So, throw Pickard in there. If I was Knobloch, I would have put Pickard in. But I'm not. All right, who else is stinking it up for the Oilers? Tim, who needs to pick it up?
We mentioned Nurse already. In the 15 games in the postseason, he's 0 goals, 2 assists, minus 12. Now, you kind of it was okay because you were winning. And you were also getting obviously incredible production from Bouchard and pretty good play and production from Ekholm. So it was like, okay, he could hide a little bit and just focus on defense. But you can't do that if you're minus 12. And like the difference between, I think Bouchard, when I saw was plus 12. And he's putting up 1 million points.
Crazy.
And he makes 9.25 per year. And we've known that his contract was bad. This is not like a new thing, but you would think that a guy like him, for all his faults and all his short Cummings would do well in the playoffs because of his size, because of his physicality, because of the system and the team in front of him. You'd think he'd be able to step up and play his best hockey this time of year, but he's not. And he had a press conference this morning in the locker room that lasted less than a minute. He was giving just like one single word, single sentence answers. How do you do this when Florida's doing all that? And he just said, like, play better. That's it. Thanks, guys. Like that. He's frustrated, but yeah, it's worth keeping an eye on.
Well, this is where the depth, the Dallas Stars, really starts to wear on you as a defenseman. You're constantly in your D zone. You're constantly under pressure. You can't have those shifts off where you know you're getting their checking line or their fourth line or the meathead line or whatever it may be. Every line the Dallas Stars has is a threat to score. Darnell Nurse, you're being exposed, Darnell. You're being exposed. This is what it feels like. So get used to it. Desharnais, healthy scratch this game. They're bringing in Philip Broberg. Smart. Gosh, Desharnais sucks. I'm sorry. There's no way to say it. And then you got Cody Ceci and Brett Kulak. Your defense is lacking. This is what we've known all along for years and years and years. You had a brief stint where it was kind of a strength. Back to being a weakness. Huge weakness. So I think they're being exposed. The forwards are doing whatever they want in the Edmonton zone. And their D-men just can't do anything about it. That Coleman Bouchard, that's all they have, Tim. That's all they can play. I think those guys play 30, 35 minutes, and you just keep throwing them out there. You split them up? I don't think so.
And not a knock on those two guys, but they're not good enough to be your only two good defensemen.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they can be at 1 and 2, but only if you've got some depth there. You can't rely on them for that amount of time in all situations.
Well, you look at the Stars. They don't have, like, I guess Heiskin is a superstar, but Thomas Harley is a superstar in the making. He's not there yet. But then you have Esa Lindell. You have Chris Tanev. You have Ryan Suter. Even Petrovic played okay last game. Not getting big minutes, but he's serviceable. They have 5 solid D-men who can play 22 minutes if needed. If need be. I know Suter's not getting any younger, but he can play. Put him in a spot. He'll be fine. But yeah, that's it. You're getting exposed, Edmonton. You need to switch something up. You can't consistently lose the possession battle, be playing on your heels, and expect to win this game. You don't have an Igor Shesterkin to bail you out.
Right.
That's it.
So the last thing I want to touch on before we move on is Leon Draisaitl. As good as he was in the first couple of rounds, leading the league in points and just scoring, multiple goals every game, it seemed like been very, very quiet. He has 1 goal, 0 assists, 1 point in 3 games. What's going on here? Is he injured, or is just Dallas shutting him down?
It's Dallas. It's Jake Ottinger. You notice in the past rounds, Draisaitl scored half of his goals from the goal line, just empty nets, one-timers. Ottinger's cheating on his shots because he's still getting those opportunities. He's getting those shots. He's getting them off. Ottinger's there. He's not taking McDavid as a threat on the power play when he cuts through the neutral zone and in the offensive zone through the slot there. He knows he's looking to pass. And Draisaitl's usually open. He's great at finding seams, and McDavid's great at getting him the puck. So you watch, he cheats. So he takes away that chance. And then, the Dallas defense is just so. They're getting sticks in the lane, sticks on the puck. McDavid has nothing. It's funny when I watch the game. I'll see the guy slash through the neutral zone, and I'm like, man, McDavid's fine. He'll turn it over at a weird spot. I'm like, oh, it's Connor Brown. Okay. That's why. Because 29, 28, both, similar body size. And it's just funny when you just catch Connor Brown. It's like, Draisaitl is good. Brown does, he has glimpses of Leon Draisaitl. But he's got to pick it up. Do you think they have any chance of winning when he's got 1 goal in game 1?
Yeah, no. And Draisaitl is such a dynamic, creative player that he's very difficult to game plan against. But one of the things that he likes to do that is easier to game plan against is that shot that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Like the defenseman working on taking it out, and Ottinger's just ahead of it. So, yeah, I think that's he'll have to find other ways to score because I don't think he's going to get that one. Yeah,
it's noticeable in the flow of the game how he just kind of disappears. He reminds me of Evgeny Malkin a little bit.
Yeah.
Where and this is not Draisaitl, his MO. Usually he's noticeable every single game. He doesn't take ships off. Dallas is doing a great job of containing him. Whereas Malkin, he would take games off where he would just shut it down. And the thing with Malkin, don't give him a reason to try. And that's what we did whenever we played him. Just let him be. Let him float around. If you pissed him off, he would just turn it to another gear, and away he went. And I don't think Draisaitl's doing that, but it's trending in that direction where he's just getting shut down. I think Dallas is doing a very good job on him. They're saying, McDavid, you can beat us if you want. I don't think you can. Draisaitl's going over. And what about Evander Kane? Sucks too.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. He's not having a great series either. Edmonton needs to pick it up. There's a lot of players better look in the mirror before the game tonight. All right, moving east. Game 4 recap. This one's at 2-2. New York Rangers, Florida Panthers could very well be a sweep. Very easily be a sweep. In my opinion, there's this one guy on YouTube who always just calls me out. He's a big Rangers guy. Every time I say something, he's like, oh, the Rangers feel bad about a win. Yeah, they do. You're damn right. You can have a win and feel bad in the playoffs. You can. Because they played garbage. They snuck out a win. Much like they lost last game when they're probably feeling pretty good because they lost in overtime and they still got outplayed. But you still get to overtime. So the Rangers are leaving Florida. It's just mixed feelings. You win the first game, you don't deserve to win. You lose the second game, you had no business being in that game. But you managed to get it to overtime, and you could have won that game. Blake Wheeler doesn't take a penalty. But all that aside, the Rangers need to play better. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. In my eyes, it all falls on Zibanejad and Panarin and Fox. Those three guys, and Kreider too. I'll group those four guys in together. Not good enough. Not nearly good enough. Panarin doesn't seem engaged. He's not going into the corners. He's not going on the sidewalls. The first goal that Florida scores is a direct result of Panarin not forechecking the puck. Everybody's blaming somebody else or this and that. You watch how the play starts in the Florida Panthers zone. Panarin does a flyby. He should have pressured the D-man, sealed the boards, and forced him to go back into their zone. But he doesn't. He does a flyby, haphazard. He guesses the D-to-D pass. They go right up, they go in and score. So it's just frustrating stuff for me to watch skilled guys not put the work in. Zibanejad should have probably had a hat trick last game. Should have. He's not scoring. Kreider, ever since that 3-goal outburst, has been just invisible. Quiet. Power play's gone quiet. Trocheck is the only guy on this team. Him and Lafreniere. That's it. The only two skill players who are really playing really good. And they almost dragged him to a win against him.
Yeah, I mean, Trocheck opened the scoring and just incredible shot on the one-timer. Really, really good. And I was looking up the stats because I'm like, what he's doing right now is not typical for him. And it doesn't surprise me that he's a playoff performer because he is that meat and potatoes forward. He has some skill, but you think of him as like a, second line, third line checking center, loves to hit, and he's just putting up points after points. So before this year, he has 17 points in 40 career playoff games. Crazy. This year he has 19 and 14. Like, it's amazing what he's doing. And the Rangers are close to squandering it, right? Like, if you're getting even middle of the line production by their standard for Kreider and Panarin and Fox and those guys, it's a completely different series. But yeah, Trocheck right now, I think if the Rangers do turn this out, it's either him or Shesterkin for Conn Smythe. He's playing that well. Yeah.
And he's, like I said, the only guy who's really keeping him in this. And same with I feel bad for Lafreniere in the power play. The top 5 go out. They're just zipping it around. They're not scoring. And Lafreniere goes out there. He's got Roslovic, and he's got Gustafsson, and he's got it's the second crew. And it's basically get Alex the puck, and hopefully he can do something with it. And you can tell he's frustrated. He's only getting 20, 30 seconds of power play time per power play, if that. And he's been playing really good this play. But yeah, the Rangers, once again, not good enough. Not nearly good enough to get the lead on that goal. And it was just like Florida. Same old, same old. The trip to Florida has been terrible for the New York Rangers. What was this tweet that someone came out? This Megan HOCKEYCA girl. She says the Rangers are probably happy to be leaving Florida and heading back to New York after these last 2 games. It's shot comparison chart. It says total shots, shots on net, off the cycle, off the rush, from the slot, scoring chances, expected goals. Everything a landslide victory for the Florida Panthers. The expected goals is crazy. Florida Panthers over 2 games expected to get almost 8. The Rangers' expected goal is almost 4. So double. It's remarkable. When you look at the stats, when you look at the scoring chances, double for the Panthers. From the slot, double. Off the rush, double. Off the cycle, almost triple for Pete's sake. Shots on net, double. Total shots, almost triple. It's Igor Shesterkin. The guy plays fantastic. He has, I'll say this, if Alexander Barkov is shooting against any other goalie, he's in the Conn Smythe conversation. Shesterkin is just burying Barkov every time this guy gets a chance. And it's not like he's getting rebound chances, or maybe he has an opening here. Breakaways, Tim. Multiple breakaways a game. 2-on-1s, backdoors. Shesterkin has his number. And even with all that he's doing, they still lose a game. In overtime, don't get me wrong. But even the goals he's giving up, they're not clear-cut goals, right, Tim?
No, I kind of noticed that while I was watching, is the weird goals.
Yeah.
The Verhaeghe swats it out of midair. Bennett gets that weird little rebound. Lafreniere redirects it again in midair. It's the bounces, the swatting, the rebounds. It's a very difficult series to score in. You're not getting these wide open opportunities. You're not getting a lot of breakaways, 2-on-1s, whatever. It's the ugly, greasy goals. And that's Florida. That's how they want to play. That's their MO. They have the exact right players to do it. And the Rangers so far, they're hanging in there in the series. I know it's 2-2, but like you said, Florida has just dominated. This could easily be 3-1 or 4-0 even.
Yeah, and that's a good thing if you're the New York Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Best of 3, you have home ice advantage. So you have to take advantage of it. But the thing that is noticeable in this series is you guys hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, these guys really, really don't like each other. It starts with a Trouba attempted assassination on Rodriguez. And then it's Rempe enters the game, and then it's Tkachuk doing what he does. Trouba, and it's Kreider throwing Tkachuk's mouthpiece over the glass. Everything is hatred, and it's fantastic. I think it's lacking from the Dallas-Edmonton series, a little bit of that grit after the whistle type stuff. That's not how Edmonton plays, and neither with Dallas. So it's a relief to see that, because you don't see it at all in the playoffs anymore. You used to see it all the time. Every series, it was a drag-out brawl. You don't get it these days. And so it's a harken back to the 80s and the 90s and the 70s, where it's like, gosh, you can tell watching this game, it's like these guys hate each other. The first hit of the game, Sam Bennett takes a huge run at Jack Roslovic. Should have been a penalty. 100%. He gets him right in the head. Nobody says boo. Crowd goes wild. Roslovic goes down. Bennett goes on his way. Should be a fine, if anything. Way dirtier than the Matt Rempe hit last game, where he gets the 2-minute penalty on Reinhart. Way dirtier. I loved it. I don't care. Don't call it.
Loved it?
I did. I thought it was fantastic. Let's see that. I wasn't a fan of the Rangers' first penalty when Gustafsson gets a penalty. It was a joke, but if I'm the refs, this is great stuff. It's great theater. It's great hockey. Let's let them go. Both teams have horses. They got Rempe and Trouba. You got Miller. You got Lomberg, Bennett, Tkachuk. Let's just let them play. It's so fun to watch. You have fantastic goalies. It's the hatred is there. I want the Rangers to start playing a little bit better. But all in all, great series. All right, they go to overtime, Tim. Somehow, some way, the Rangers tried up late. Lafreniere, beautiful hand-eye. My goodness, like that's top notch there. It was over within the first minute. What happened?
Yeah, so there was a turnover where Zibanejad turned it over. There's a 2-on-1 going the other way, and Blake Wheeler takes a penalty. And he said after the game, I talked to Shesterkin. He said, don't take the penalty.
Ah, interesting.
He said, I got the shot. Like, let me get the shot. But he did, and you usually coach to take the penalty, right? If there's a scoring chance, just take it. Anyway, so the Panthers set up on the power play, and they have a beautiful setup going, pass the pack, high to low. And then you get
Trouba. Reinhart. Reinhart.
Yeah, Reinhart scoring the beautiful one-timer, and it's over about a minute and a half into overtime.
Yeah, probably the last guy you want taking a shot on the power play. He led the league this year in power play goals with 31. Remarkably, he gets 31 power play goals. I think that's his 67th goal of the year. Sam Reinhart. 67 goals this year. Absolutely crazy. But it all stems, I know, Wheeler gets the penalty. It's Jacob Trouba. Like, what? I don't know how they kill, per se. I have been on the penalty kill many, many times in my career, throughout my career. No one teaches you. You too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. No one teaches you, as far as I know, if the other team has the puck and they're staring at you, charge right at them. Let's go. Charge right at them. Especially when the guy is at the top of the circle. To leave your defenseman on an island in front of the net on a 2-on-1 with Sam Reinhart, who has the most power play goals in the league this year, and was it Matthew Tkachuk? Somebody else. Yeah. And Matthew Tkachuk. Like, it's just such a mind-boggling. If he just holds the zone, keeps his ice, cheats out a little bit, it's a nothing play. It becomes a 3-on-2. They pass it down to Tkachuk. He can collapse, and it's a nothing play. Reinhardt is checked by Gustafsson. Trouba, for whatever reason, and this is what we talk about with Wyatt Johnson just getting in somebody's way, is just as effective as blowing somebody up. There's times to take those chances, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, I just watched it again. It was Barkov that made the pass. And yeah, it's strange because Trouba is your captain. He is like a 12-year veteran. Like, he has been around. He knows what to do. And he's supposed to set the example for other players. It was really strange. And I feel like he's the type of guy that just, the adrenaline gets going. He sees a body. He wants to kill it. And he gets out of position. And when you're in overtime in the playoffs on a penalty kill, and that's the play you make, it's really, really head scratching. You can't say it's typical of him because he's not like, he does a lot of things wrong, but he's not an irresponsible player, except for maybe reckless with other people's safety, but not positionally, not for his own team. So the fact he made that, I wouldn't say is characteristic, but that makes it all the stranger.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of hero ball where you want to get the puck out. It's so close to the blue line. You want to be that guy to make that play and get the puck out. You take the body, you shoot it down, and, away we go. It's like in basketball when the guy goes 1-on-5. I can do it. I don't need my teammates. He just got excited, I think, and he saw a chance and he went for it, and he just, big mistake. Big mistake. Florida takes advantage of it, goes down 2-1. It's in the back of your net. You know who used to do this really well is the Sedins. They would bait you, absolutely bait you. Daniel and Henrik. And our coaches, we learned when I was in Chicago, they said if they get the puck on the half wall, just leave them there because they want you to attack them. As soon as you attack them, it opens up a lane, it opens up more ice for the other two guys, and they're going to score. So we learned our lesson the hard way a lot of the times. And that's the thing, you want to bury them. You want to put that son of a gun through the boards, and you see they're in a vulnerable position, and as soon as you get close to them, they just throw it between your legs. Like, shoot, they did it again. And I feel like that's what Trouba was doing here. Initially, maybe the puck was rimmed or the puck, was being bobbled. He should have slowed up. He should have stayed in his lane, stayed in his zone, not got too horny to go and get the puck, and then lo and behold, he did. And it's in the back of your net. So great play by Florida. It was a fitting ending. Florida outplayed him the whole game. Shesterkin, that's a great shot. You can't save that. Gustafsson goes down to block it, but it's just a fantastic shot. Florida gets to win 3-2 in overtime, 3 straight overtime games. Then we go back to MSG. Very fun series. Very fun series.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're the Rangers, you're looking for something to hang on to. It's the fact that it is tied and you play 2 out of the next 3 at home. So 2 out of 3, 2 of them are at the Garden. That's the ideal situation, but Florida's so good, man. It's just hard to, I can't believe that we both picked the Rangers to win this series before it started.
Well, but still, it's anybody's game. It's 2-2 with the lineup for the Rangers. They brought in Blake Wheeler. They sat down Filipino because they didn't want to overwork him. That's what they said. He didn't play at all in the regular season. He's played 4 games pretty close together. We're going to give him a day of rest. It's like, are you nuts? What do you do with the Rangers lineup now? Because you got Rempe, Gaudreau, and Wheeler on the 4th line. They played okay. They got an overtime shift. They didn't play all that terrible. I think Willie Culley and Weinberg and Kakko played pretty good. And Will Culley's, I like him. Cooley.
Cooley, yeah. He's smooth.
I like him a lot. Like, he's playing really well. Do you jumble the top 2 lines? Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere, Kreider, Zibanejad, Roslovic. Do you any way interchange those guys and try to just jumpstart some of them? Because specifically it's Kreider, Zibanejad, and Roslovic. They're not working for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Wheeler
it
up in
can't
that
get
group.
worse. Right? Like, you're not going to start getting worse production. So yeah, I think you do. And maybe you give Lafreniere a shot on the top line and put him with whether it's Kreider or Zibanejad or whoever you want to do. I think you have to mix it up.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to do something to jumpstart those guys because it's just not working. Whenever you leave the game and you're doing your game notes, who stood out? It's Will Cooley. It's Trocheck. It's those guys. It's like, where the hell is my first line? And it's been like that for the first 4 games of this series. These guys have been invisible, if not a detriment to the team. And that should be the fact. So something's got to change because you look across the ice, it's wave after wave after wave of Barkov and every top player for the Florida Panthers, and they're playing fantastic. So they have to match that, if not exceed it, in order to win some games. All right, moving on. Wendy's, Tim. Frozen pucks are awesome. when they're in the back of the other guy's net. Am I right? But that doesn't mean you'd want to eat one. Yuck. Frozen pucks. That's why Wendy's only uses fresh beef that's never been in the side of a freezer in all of their burgers. Whether you order a Baconator, a Dave's Single, or even a JBC, you'll only ever find real fresh beef that's real juicy and loaded with fresh toppings. So download the Wendy's app, check out the latest deals, and order a burger that's only job is being delicious. Wendy's. You know what one of my kids eats on her burgers? Nothing. Just bun, burger patty, cheese, bun. No ketchup, no mayonnaise, no mustard, no anything. I think she's a psychopath.
Is she picky in general, or is it just burgers she does that with?
Just burgers. It's crazy. But she has ketchup on her fries and everything. Something's wrong with you, kid. It's wrong. Isn't it?
No. People should be able to eat the food how they want it.
And you know what Danielle, my wife, buys this, it's called muffaletta. It's like an olive tapenade type mixture. It's delicious. Olive oil and olives and like really, salty flavors. We put that on the burger. Oh my gosh. I don't want to give away all my secrets because we eat really well. I don't want people to know that. I don't want people to share in my just glory of my food. But yes, go to Costco, buy these. It's come in packs of 2, muffaletta. Put them on your burgers. Oh my gosh. You have no idea what you're missing out on. All right, on my burger, so I do the muffaletta, the mayonnaise, and a little ketchup. What's on yours? Let me guess. Don't tell me. You're just a ketchup guy.
No, I don't really love ketchup. My ideal burger is a cheeseburger, like one of those cowboy or Western burgers. So cheeseburger with bacon and barbecue sauce, maybe some onions too. Yeah, like the little, like not the big thick fried onions, but the little stringy fried onions. Those are really good.
Shoestring onions, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about marketing genius, bacon. Whoever was the person who decided bacon was a breakfast food, genius. Right?
Yeah, it's so good.
But it shouldn't be. It's just like any other meat. Like, why can't I have a chicken breast in the morning?
You can.
But someone didn't market it as a breakfast food.
Right. This is all done in like the 50s and 60s and never changed.
Yeah, it really is. Big brother pretty much making us eat this stuff. All right, let's do some quick hits here, Tim. Powerful quote from Jonathan Marchessault on his contract status. What is Jonathan saying down there in Vegas?
Yeah, he was asked about whether he's been offered or has talked with the team about an extension. He said, I asked last summer. I was like, you know what? I would rather do it in the summer before the season. And they said they're not ready to do that. And then there's not even a single talk that happened during the season. He even added that there hasn't been any discussion since the season ended either. Now, Jonathan Marchessault, this is the year that he just had. 42 goals, led the team. At 11 more than the next guy. 27 assists, 69 points, led the team. More than Eichel, more than Carlson and Stone and all those guys. He was their best player this year. He is 33 years old, so I know he's getting up there, but he was also your Conn Smythe. You know what I mean? Like he is nails. I don't understand why they wouldn't re-up this guy.
It's so funny to be the outside perspective looking in on like a one-sided relationship. She's going to call, Jonathan. Don't worry. She's calling me for sure. He's telling his friends, no, she's going to call when the season's over. 100%. No, we're going to get married. It's going to be great. Hello, honey. And she's not answering. Oh, she's going to pick up. The Vegas Knights don't want to re-sign Jonathan Marchessault. They don't. Have you looked at their cap situation lately? Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, Thomas Hertl, William Karlsson, Barbashev, Waugh, Peter Angelo, Hannafin. All of those guys making lots of money. Lots and lots of money. I'm sorry, but Jonathan Marchessault, unless you're willing to sign a team-friendly deal, it's not going to work. You're 33, which in everybody's eyes is over the hill, and you're going to want, what do you think he wants? Last year he made $5 million. He's going to want a raise. You cannot, in your right mind, give this guy $6-7 million and expect to get an ROI on that. It just won't happen. That's it. So he's walking.
And he's a great signing in a short term, will give you 2 great years, but it's hard to say how he's going to age, you know what I mean? And he's going to want 4 or 5 years, and someone's going to give it to him, and it's not going to age well.
Yeah, this is a team that's in its window. They have to be very aware of Jack Eichel in 2 years. He's going to be a UFA. You want to re-sign him. So there's pressing issues that you have to be aware of in the next coming years. And Jonathan Marchessault, you can't sign him up, then all of a sudden be tied up for, like, if you sign him for $5, $6, $7 million this year, that's $52 million just for your forwards. Then you add on the defensemen, you're up to $82 million. It's like, that's it. And you still have to sign 4 more forwards to ice a team. So it just they've got Thomas Hertl. He's replacing Jonathan Marchessault. That's it. And so he needs to accept that and move on. It's exciting. He had a great run with the Vegas Golden Knights. One of the original guys for the expansion draft. Very fun. Time to move on. Maximize your value right now. You're through the roof. Like you said, Conn Smythe led the team in goals. This is it. You won't get a higher value than you have right now. Go inside of Montreal. That's it. Hometown team. You're a French guy. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui. Bonsoir. That's it. So good for Jonathan Marchessault. It's sad the Knights are icing him out, but sometimes you just got to read the writing on the wall. I used to do that. Oh, she really likes me. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. She's making out with somebody at the bowling alley. You know what I mean, Tim? This probably happened to you a lot.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Right, moving on. Official title. This is the wildest title I've ever seen.
Yep.
What did Don Waddell anoint himself as for the Columbus Blue Jackets now?
President of Hockey Ops, GM, and alternate governor. They gave
Whatever
him
the hell that means.
A blank name slate on his desk, and he filled it out himself. And he's like, all right, these sound good.
What is an alternate governor? I've been in the game. I've been around the game a long time. No clue what an alternate governor is. You just made it up.
I think it has to do.
You tell me what it means.
I think it has to do with like the board and like the governing body of the entire organization, the corporation, probably. But yeah, I don't know. That's my best guess.
This guy, the balls on this guy, just right out of the gate. Like, just right out of the gate, makes himself everything.
Was he even on the market for a week?
Yeah, he left Carolina on the 24th, and he signed with Columbus on the 28th.
Yeah.
Not even a week. Good for him. Good for him. You know, the Columbus Blue Jackets were desperate. They've been languishing for a long time. They wanted to get somebody who had some, pedigree. Well, Don Waddell. Don, what do you need? What do you need? Everything. I want to make up an alternate governor. That's what I want. I want to be the alternate. Who's the other governor?
Who knows? Some businessman or woman.
It's crazy. President of Hockey Opera. Yeah, we're going to get in trouble for that one. Or a woman. But yeah, good for him, Don Waddell. All right. What else, Tim?
Yeah, the big news yesterday was Will Smith, who was a 4th overall pick last year, signed his entry-level contract with the Sharks. Not coincidentally that it came after the Sharks getting the 1st overall pick and Macklin Calabrini. Will Smith, just incredible talent. He had, at his 18-year season, his rookie one season for BC, 71 points. He just turned 19 in March, 2 months ago. Still very, very young, but he's going to jump right to the NHL and play along Calabrini.
Calabrini from BU, very solid chance that they talked.
Yeah.
100% chance.
Right? Yeah.
You coming with me? Yeah, let's go. Let's take over this team. This is good news for the San Jose Sharks. You want these guys growing together. Yeah. Huge news. Mike Greer. That's going to be fun to see those two playing next season because they're really great. Will Smith's big dude. And Celebrini, some people have likened him to a Jonathan Taves type. We'll see if that pans out. That's pretty big shoes to fill. But yeah, good. Sharks, they need some good news. What's not so good news? What is Frank Seravalli saying about Elias Pettersson? This is just not good for the Vancouver Canucks.
Right. So we said the other day, Pettersson in his end-of-season presser said his shoulder's been bothering him since January, and it's been getting worse the more he plays. Apparently, this was news to the team. Here's the quote from Frank. I firmly believe his injury excuse really caught the Canucks by surprise. I think they felt there were 15 other players playing through more than what he was playing through. It became an excuse that really made everyone else look bad. Wow.
Not good.
Just when you think things are
good. Just when you think it's fine, you had a good run, you couldn't finish it off, the others had your number, going into next season feeling pretty good, and then this. Do you think the guys in the room, this is what their issue is. So the guys in the room know who's hurt. You can see how guys get ready. You're in the trainer's room. You know what's going on. Everybody knows. So they know he's lying. They know that 15 other guys were in a worse spot and in their year-end presser, they didn't make an excuse. That's what it is. So it just creates just animosity throughout the locker room. It's like, come on, man. Don't make excuses. You just didn't produce. Own up to it. Look at this guy. He's got a broken wrist. Brock Besser had a blood clot and a broken finger, for Pete's sake. He didn't make any excuses.
Ronick was 100% hurt, and he was asked, and he looked disgusted at the question. He's like, no, I'm fine. Just gotta play better,
Yeah, we just lost. Edmonton was better. This guy's making every excuse. It affected me since January. I really shouldn't have been playing. My knee, this and that. A leopard never changes his stripes. And this is what happened. I said this years ago. He's not that guy. Not that guy. I'm going back to my original thought, Tim. I thought he changed. He didn't.
I thought you were different. Yeah.
He's not. You cannot say that in the year-end press conference. It just doesn't work well, especially in that hockey area. It's like, you're tough guys. Suck it up. Just say you didn't perform. That's it. Have you ever seen Wayne Gretzky at a year-end press conference? Wayne, why didn't you win? My back was pretty sore. I got a lot of hacks. I couldn't perform because I was hurt. No. He owns up to it. And then they win 4 Stanley Cups in a row because he saw the New York Islanders, how beat up and bandaged they were and what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. Not Pettersson. I was hurt. I couldn't do that. I can't play through that. Are you crazy? No way. No. I need to be 100% to perform. If I'm subpar, this is what you get. You get me scoring 2 goals in the playoffs. But Elias, you're our highest paid player. We invested in you long term. We want you to be the backbone of this franchise and lead us to the promised land. But my knee was bothering me a little bit. But Elias, you're going to have 4 months off and you're going to be the king of Vancouver and possibly Canada because you're going to bring the cup back to the north. We pay you $11.6 million. I know, but it feels funny when I push off of it. And sometimes it hurts. So I just don't want to push it. You get that? Yeah. You guys get it. You guys get it, right? It's been tough since January. Okay. Is that, come on. How pathetic are you? That's what it is.
Yeah. I have nothing to add to that. You're right.
Okay. Another very exciting news. A new exciting coach getting a chance in the NHL. First timer. It's great to see. Denver College's Carlisle coming out, 2 national championships. He's going to get a chance in the NHL, a young voice. No, it's Dan Bylsma. Wash, rinse, and repeat. He gets another chance with the Seattle Kraken, former coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres. Been out of the game for a couple years, but he's back. Seattle Kraken signs him on to be the next head coach. Replaces, who knows? Axtell. Who cares? I'm just so tired of these coaches. Just whatever. He's going to reinvent the wheel, apparently. Dan Bylsma struck gold when he just signed on with Pittsburgh against Sidney Crosby in his prime with Letang and Malkin and,
right.
I don't know, Kessel and Hagelin and Fleury. And we did not win a Stanley Cup with that group. So I'm sure he'll do terrible. So it's funny. It honestly is hilarious. Anything else, Tim?
No, watch Game 4 tonight and be back on Friday.
Very exciting, yes. So check it out. A couple games, and we'll check you out on Friday, like Tim said. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Dropping the Gloves with John Scott, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from to never miss an episode.